Oh my god, that thing is terrifying. Yeah, I'm having the same reaction, kid. Don't worry about it. That's right, all my party people. Today on my never-ending journey into the deep depths of Tubi, I'm talking about a little film called Munchie. And this isn't the one that you're thinking of. You're thinking of the movie Munchies, which is a plural. This is Munchie, singular. It's a completely different Gremlins ripoff. Munchie is a 1992 American low-budget comedy movie written and directed by Jim Wynorski, who, according to Wikipedia, is best known for making B-movies, exploitation films, and softcore pornography. Which means he's the perfect fit to make a family movie. Munchie's a great name for a softcore pornography, if you ask me. Should've put it on the back burner there, Jim. This movie is about the new kid in town, Gage Dobson, who meets a magical little creature named Munchie, who offers to solve all of the problems in his life. Man, I wish I had a magical creature to help me through my troubles in middle school. All I had was underage drug use, Green Day, and tugging on my little pud till it turned blue. Now, before we get into watching this movie and understanding the true horror that is Munchie, I want to know about your munchies, as in snacks. Got anything unique or different that you like to snack on in your time of need? Well, tell me about it in the comments down below. Hell, even if it's something totally normal or boring, like me personally, I'm a big fan of white trash nachos. You know, just some basic off-brand tortilla chips, shredded cheddar cheese, throw it in the microwave for 2 minutes or until it starts to smell like colorectal cancer, whichever one comes first.
Roger Corman and New Horizons Home Video bring you the family fantasy adventure, Munchie.
So the movie starts in 1970 with a police chase that is made up entirely of footage from a different movie called Jackson County Jail. You know you're in for a fun ride when the movie starts with footage that isn't even from the movie. So some guy with a talking box is fleeing from the police. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? It's a regular Saturday night around these parts. And the voice coming from that box is none other than the legend himself, the one and only Dom DeLuise. How many annoying characters did Dom DeLuise voice in terrible children's movies? I mean, there's Munchie, the skateboard kid. Hey, drunk drivers, we've got a police chase and drunk driving in the first 15 seconds of a children's movie?
Nice.
The guy gets away from the police and drives to the desert where he throws the box into a bottomless pit and then jumps for joy. Also, he almost ran over a cow while he was fleeing from the police, and I'm not sure if that was planned or not, but I can guarantee you one thing, it probably scared the shit out of the cow. No, watch the cow! Oh, Jesus Christ, that was dangerous. There's no way that was real. Fast forward to today, where we meet our main character, the new kid in town, Gage Dobson, who's having a little trouble learning about fractions. Don't worry, little dude, I'm a grown man and I still don't know how fractions work. Fractions are stupid. This is a message brought to you by the Decimal Gang. I don't know what that is. Today. You mean like today? What are the chances? That's today! While learning about those pesky little fractions, Gage starts daydreaming about his crush, a girl named Andrea, played by a very young Jennifer Love Hewitt in her feature film debut. Hey, we all start somewhere, girl. I'm hoping to leverage this small YouTube channel into an Oscar-winning performance for Quentin Tarantino, preferably in a movie with a lot of feet, and where I can say the N-word. Gage fantasizes about becoming student body president and then acts all surprised when he wins. Like, wouldn't you have to campaign for this? Surely you hung up a couple of posters or something. Did they just choose a random name from a hat? Because if that's the case, then that's how we should pick our future presidents. Ladies and gentlemen, your next president of the United States, Lloyd Phillips. All right, buddy, congratulations. Here's the keys to the place. Don't fuck it up for the next 4 years. It can't get any worse. In the cafeteria, Gage is getting his lunch, and at this school, they get 2 trays. 2 trays? In my school, we were lucky if we got 1 tray. Half the time, they just pour the slop in your hand and force you to slurp it up like a dog. Hey, you gonna eat that? Also, for some reason, they gave Gage a metric ton of baked beans. That's far too many beans for 1 kid. That's gotta be 1 bean for every woman I've ever had sex with. Give or take. Gage tries to sit down at the cool kids table and meets the preppy Ashton, who is absolutely based on Donald Trump, which used to mean something back before everything was based on Donald Trump.
comedian, Leon.
Yeah, he's funny. Funny looking.
Ashton gets his lackey Leon to throw Gage's lunch tray across the cafeteria, which accidentally hits the principal, Mr. Thornton, which obviously gets blamed on Gage. Because in these movies, it's impossible to just go, hey, Principal Thornton, that wasn't me. That was the knockoff Christmas Story bully over there. But nevertheless, Gage gets an earful from the principal saying, oh, I'm gonna keep my eye on you. And then he imagines himself being tied to a tree and executed via firing squad. Whoa, buddy, it's a little overdramatic if you ask me. Listen, kid, you just threw some beans at the man. I'm sure it's not that serious. On the way home, Gage visits his eccentric neighbor, Professor Cruikshank, who is working on fixing up his old Jeep. Welcome to being a Jeep owner, my man. You're gonna be getting a lot of use out of that garage. I hope you like spending thousands of dollars a year on mechanic work. Hey, at least you're stimulating the economy. Jesus Christ! What is that, Al-Qaeda's American Embassy? Professor Cruikshank is trying to get a grant from his university to go study ancient civilizations. Ancient civilizations? What is this? Your mom's pussy? I'm sorry, I didn't have a joke for this part, but I needed you to know that Cruikshank works with ancient civilizations because it's going to come back up later, so I didn't know how to bring it up naturally. I'm sorry, I'm bad at making YouTube videos. I don't know why I do this. I want to die.
I gotta go. Tell me when you get it running.
Of course I will. You'll be the first to go for a test ride with me. I'll see you.
Really? Okay. First? You don't have, like, maybe a woman that's your age? Preferably consenting? Gage goes home and sees his mom, Kathy, and her boyfriend, Dr. Elliot Carlisle, who performs experiments on animals by giving them fatal diseases and then dissecting their dead bodies. A regular Albert Einstein, this guy is. You know, I had a cousin that used to do the exact same thing, and he didn't become a doctor. And this is where we learn that apparently Gage's dad abandoned him to move across the country and start a new family, which feels oddly despicable. I mean, it's one thing if your dad leaves you because he doesn't want a kid. Like, it's still a shitty thing to do, but at least it's understandable. But if your dad leaves you to start a new family and have a new kid, that might be on you, big dog. Elliot tells Gage that he's planning on proposing to his mom, and this news upsets Gage because apparently he thinks Elliot is a creep. Except Elliot doesn't seem like a creep. He doesn't have any character traits of being a creep. He's a successful, confident man. Hell, he's a doctor. Just because you throw a thin mustache on a man doesn't make him a creep. There's only one solution, Gage. You've got to kill your family. Gage goes on a walk and fantasizes about what life would be like after he dies, saying that someday I'll be gone and they'll all be sorry. And that's the saddest fucking thing I've ever heard. Damn, Gage, maybe you should ask your mom for a therapist's appointment for Christmas. Gage dreams about his funeral and about what everyone would say at his casket. Andrea says that he was the cutest boy in school, Ashton says that he was always jealous of him, and Kathy says that she wished she bought him that video game that he always wanted. And this is really sad. I never thought I'd say this, but can we bring back the annoying Dom DeLuise character? This is too much misery for one film.
I threw such shit against the wall, and now he's dead.
After that depressing-ass daydream, Gage goes into an abandoned mine shaft with big red letters saying, "Keep out," which isn't the brightest idea in the world there, little buddy. In the mine shaft, he hears a voice calling to him from a box, the same box from the beginning, and the voice asks him to open the box and let him out, which again is not a good idea. Listen, in the worst case scenario, you get possessed by an ancient demon that tortures you in hell for all eternity. And best case scenario, you get Dom DeLuise. Gage opens the box, and we finally get to lay our eyes on the star of the show, the strange creature known as Munchie. Oh my god, that thing is terrifying.
Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal.
Yeah, I'm having the same reaction, kid. Don't worry about it. Yeah, that looks like a Munchie if I've ever seen one. What's he been munching on? A block of uranium? Munchie? More like Splunchy. I don't know. What have you guys been up to? Gage rightfully runs away from the terrifying creature staring him in the face and... Wait a minute, how did you get here? In the beginning of the movie, he was thrown into a bottomless pit. Why is he just sitting on a bench in an abandoned mine shaft? This box shouldn't be here. It's almost like the beginning of the movie was completely unnecessary and just a giant excuse to push the runtime to 80 minutes. Gage comes home to find Munchie just chilling in his bed, wearing a leather jacket and blue jeans like he's the fucking Fonz. And this is the perfect time to actually talk about the disgusting character design that is Munchie. Everything about this creature screams terrifying and uncanny and ugly. His eyes are giant and vacant. His mouth doesn't match up with the words like at all. That thing's got a mind of its own. His skin looks like bologna that was left out on a sidewalk during the hottest week of July. And his hands just keep doing this weird jittery thing like he's warming up for the local J.O. competition. Keep those things to yourself, buddy. You're making Michael J. Fox look like a brain surgeon. Needless to say, it's the scariest thing I've ever seen. And I've seen the face of God staring back at me at the bottom of a toilet bowl when I thought taking a chance on pink chicken was a good idea. And his physical appearance, like whatever, I can make fun of that all day because I'm ableist. That's not even mentioning the constant forced jokes and shitty dialogue. Like this scene in particular just comes across as rambling. Like they just left Dom DeLuise in a room alone with a microphone and took what they could get.
You know, where I come from, I'm just ordinary. I mean ordinary. Now my father, whoa, there was a guy. What?
Munchie says he's starving, so he makes the most logical decision that any of us would come to, and he makes a pizza fly to the house from across town, cause fuck you, Munchie is magic. But I don't care how magic he is though, cause that pizza is absolutely going to be covered in bugs and cold as ice. Cold pizza, covered in bugs? What are you ordering from Little Caesars? Papa John's? Pizza Hut? Domino's? Pizza Hut? Pizza Hut? Domino's? Little Caesars? Little John's? Domino's? Domino's or Domino's? Also, the terrible effects on the flying pizza made me laugh so hard that for a second there, I thought I was losing my mind. While eating the pizza, Gage asks Munchie that if he's so magic, then why did he need help getting out of the box? And Munchie says that even his powers have limits. Wait a minute, you can teleport, make objects fly, and as we'll see later on in the movie, perfectly mimic people's voices, but you can't get yourself out of a box? Sounds like some pretty shitty magic in my opinion. I saw Chris Angel escape from a straitjacket before a Raiders game a couple of years ago, and I'm pretty sure he's a fucking liar. That pizza looks like shit. You didn't even take a bite, you just put it in your mouth and mushed it around. Munchie tells Gage that he owes him one for getting out of that box, so he'll help him out with anything that he wants. Gage thinks about it for a minute, and then gives Munchie a laundry list of wishes. He wants to be popular, he wants his mom to break up with Elliot, he wants Andrea to notice him, he wants Principal Thornton to be embarrassed, he wants Ashton and Leon to look like fools in front of the entire school, and he wants to pass math class. You know, this would have been a whole lot easier if you just asked for a gun.
You're gonna have to make your own bed, though.
Don't worry about me, pal. Hammer, nails, I come prepared. Yeah.
I would kill this thing so fast. I'd be like, hey, Munchie, what's in the microwave? How about you grab that? There's something in the microwave for you. The next morning, Gage wakes up and Munchie is gone, just left in the middle of the night without saying goodbye. Damn, Gage, left just like your dad. That's 2 for 2. You gotta make some serious changes in your life if you want people to start sticking around. At school, Gage finds out that he's going to be a stagehand for the talent show, because that's something that they just pick a random kid to do. Usually there's a volunteer, or someone in theater class, or someone in a wheelchair. Hey, someone might want to fix the light in the hallway. It's pretty fucking dark down there. Ashton confronts Gage and tells him to stay away from Andrea because that's his girl. Even though this is kind of the first thing we're hearing about them dating. Except for the time they were sitting together at lunch, which I guess is technically dating in middle school. Ashton also tells Gage that he and Andrea are going to be performing a rendition of Romeo and Juliet at the talent show, and if anything goes wrong, then they're going to kick his ass. Yeah, nerd, if you mess up my totally cool and straight performance of Romeo and Juliet, I'm gonna beat your ass. Munchie shows up and tells Gage that he's gonna take care of those bullies right after he fixes Gage's grades, and then says a comment that should put him on a list somewhere.
So, pal, I'm ready. Where's cheerleader practice?
What are you doing here?
I missed your face.
Munchie, we're in a middle school.
What are you doing here at school?
These kids are like 13. Munchie sneaks into the principal's office and takes over the assistant, Miss Laurel's computer, to change Gage's grades. Look at that woman type. Ha! She doesn't know what words are. Munchie changes all of Gage's grades to straight A's, which feels a little too obvious. You couldn't have thrown a B+ or a C in there just to throw him off the scent? Munchie then catches Miss Laurel having an affair with Principal Thornton, so he turns on the school PA system so that all the school can hear their sexy little playtime. And all the kids laugh at Mr. Thornton as if f***ing the hot assistant isn't like the coolest thing in the world. I'd be like, yeah, laugh all you want, little nerds. I'm getting pussy. You virgins don't even know what it means to be a man. After gym class, Gage is confronted by Leon, and for some reason, Gage is just in a towel, and it feels... Why? Why did you have to do that? Literally everyone else in the locker room is wearing clothes. There are people in the background wearing clothes. It just feels a little like, I mean, come on now, you know? Munchie mimics Gage's voice and calls Leon gay and whatnot, then hits him with a locker, dumps a bucket on his head, and makes him slip on soap. And you can totally tell when Leon falls that it's like a grown man in a padded suit. Munchie then tells Gage to finish the fight, and Gage hits Leon with an uppercut that would make Mike Tyson's face tattoo shed a tear. The whole locker room erupts in applause at Gage beating up Leon, and even the coach tells Gage, like, yeah, that kid was kind of a little asshole, he deserved it. Also, the gym teacher asks Gage if he ever thought about trying out for football, which is kind of a running theme in this movie, because at the very beginning, Elliot asks Gage if he ever wanted to be on the football team, and I kept thinking like, oh, this is gonna come back later, football tryouts towards the end of the movie. But don't worry. It doesn't. During the talent show, Ashton and Andrea are doing their rendition of Romeo and Juliet, and Munchie causes a bunch of stuff to go wrong, like dropping props and making Ashton trip, and even making his pants fall down. The crowd all points and laughs at Ashton, and even Andrea gets in on the fun. Damn, dude, your life sucks. Even your girlfriend thinks you're a goober. Principal Thornton tells Gage that he doesn't know how, but he knows that he's responsible for what just happened on that stage, which feels like a little bit of profiling, if you ask me. Principal Thornton tells Gage that if he doesn't get everything under control immediately, then he is going to be recommended for expulsion. And because of all this added pressure, Gage gets mad at Munchie and tells him to leave him alone because all he's ever done is made stuff worse. Which... has he? He helped you beat up your bully. He's helped you with your crush. You've got straight A's. I mean... seems like a cool little cracker if you ask me. After school, Gage takes Munchie's box to Professor Cruikshank, because remember, he's an expert on ancient civilizations. Remember that from the beginning that I expertly reminded you of?
I told you it'd come back.
The professor tells Gage that Munchie is an eternal creature that has been around since the beginning of time. If that's the case, then why the hell does he sound like Dom DeLuise? If I get to heaven and God sounds like Dom DeLuise, I'm gonna be pissed.
Did it look like this?
Professor says that he wants to meet the creature, but Gage says that he's already kicked him to the curb. But when Gage heads back home, Munchie is watching him from a trash can, and it suddenly dawned on me how awesome this movie would be if out of nowhere it became a horror flick. Like, Munchie is an eternal being that exists beyond time and space, and he wants to be your friend, but he also turns out to be kind of annoying as f***, so you stop hanging out with him. And now for revenge on leaving him, the ancient creature decides that it wants to kill you. I mean, that's perfect. Roger Corman, hit my line. I've got some ideas for you. That might be him right there. Hello? He's dead? Gage comes home to his mom all dressed up and cooking dinner for Elliot, and why would you get all dolled up if you're just gonna be eating dinner at home? That doesn't make any sense to me, personally. I mean, does anyone do that? You're home. Put on some baggy sweats and a baggy t-shirt. Come on now, bitch. God damn, look at that cleavage. Woo, boy. I didn't know you could see the Grand Canyon from here. Elliot tells Gage to get lost so he can be alone with Kathy and ask him to marry him, which is a great start to being a future stepdad. What's up, nerd? Hey, you're not hanging around, are you? It's time for you to scram, little bitch. I'm trying to bang the breast implants out of your mom. Elliot tries to set the mood for his dinner with Kathy, but Munchie comes back and just starts making everything go wrong, and hilarity ensues. Munchie keeps messing with Elliot while he's trying to propose to Kathy, which causes him to lose his cool, which I don't know how he was keeping his cool in the first place with those things staring at you. Ah, no, Bukkake Jones over here.
Elliot, could I get you a towel?
No, I'm hardly even damp.
Neither is she. Elliot goes off on Gage, saying that everything that's gone wrong tonight has to be his fault, and he even tells Kathy that if it was his son, he'd take him out back and beat his ass. Which, for some reason, pisses her off. I don't know why. Elliot apologizes, and they decide to go out tonight and eat dinner, even though she's been slaving away in the kitchen all day. Kind of a dick move, in my opinion. Oh yeah, and before they leave, Munchie steals Elliot's credit card. Like the fucking criminal he is. After Kathy and Elliot leave, Munchie tells Gage that he's gonna throw a big party for him to impress Andrea, but Gage tells him no. But obviously, Munchie doesn't know the meaning of the word no. Did you hear him talking about those cheerleaders earlier? I'm starting to notice a pattern. So Munchie uses Elliot's credit card to buy supplies for a party, and he even calls Hugh Hefner and pretends to be Jack Nicholson to get a bunch of girls to come over. And I'm not gonna lie, it's good. It's the best part of this movie. I love goofy shit like this. A solid Jack Nicholson impression is the best way to get my motor running.
Look, I'm out promoting my latest picture, and I want to have a little party. You think you could airlift some girls in for me?
So for some reason, Munchie throws like a real party, like an adult party with adults and booze and a band and hot women. Like, why would you do that? Why would a kid enjoy a party like this? I'm a grown man, and I probably wouldn't enjoy a party like this. Then Pussy. Then Andrea shows up to the party with her dad, and he is acting way too normal about this. Your daughter told you that her friend from school is hosting a party, and you show up, and it's like a rager with a bunch of prostitutes and hot women. I mean, I'd be grabbing her by the hair and being like, hey, bitch, whose house is this? Who have you been talking to? Who's been talking to my daughter? She's a child.
Your dad seems like a nice guy. This is the happiest I've seen him since Mom died.
Oh, way to bring down the mood, bitch. I'm trying to make moves here, and you're talking about your rotten corpse of a mother? Elliot proposes to Kathy, and she turns him down. Then he makes some, like, weird sexist remarks out of pocket, like, oh, come on, girl, your eggs are drying up. You already got a kid. Most men would say that you're damaged goods. I'm the best you're gonna get. Which obviously causes Kathy to turn him down even more. Then the waiter brings the check, but Elliot doesn't have his credit card, because remember, it's with that little criminal Munchie, which forces Kathy to pay. Which, in my opinion, the woman should offer to pay more often. I'd love to be wined and dined like you broads. Just pick up the check, you greedy bitch. Back at the house, the professor tells Gage that he just got approved for his grant, and he's leaving first thing in the morning to go study the lost city of Arman Khan. First of all, you just got this news this late at night. It's fucking dark out. It's nighttime. There's strippers in this house, and they usually don't come out until at least after 10:30. And second of all, I was curious if this lost city was a real thing, so I googled Arman Khan, and I found this cinematographer, so I was like, oh cool, he probably worked on the film and just slid in a little sneaky reference. And then I found out that this man was born just 1 year before Munchie was released, in Pakistan. So either the lost city of Arman Khan is just some made-up gibberish, or it's a shout-out to a 1-year-old Pakistani child who one day would have 5 credits on IMDb. Kathy and Elliot come home and crash the party, sending everyone away except for the professor, Andrea, and her dad, who is still here for some reason. What are you doing, dude? You brought your daughter to a party full of adults and thought, well, I'm already here. While arguing about what should happen to Gage, Elliot finds Munchie passed out, drunk, behind the couch. Guess this little feller can't handle his liquor. Elliot snatches him up and says that it must be some kind of new species, so he has to take it to the lab and dissect it to learn what it is. And remember, Munchie's magic can't help him get out of a plastic trash bag. He may be a magical, immortal creature that has been around since before man, but he does have one weakness. Hefty. I mean, that's a real plot hole. No one throughout history trapped you? Really? Because I know people, and that doesn't seem like them. You're telling me that ever since the beginning of time, not one person saw you and went, I'm gonna fucking kill that thing. That's not what humans do. We're animals. We discover a new species, and our first question is, so what's it taste like? Do you think it'd go good with barbecue? What, it tastes like shit? Well, throw it in a giant meat processor. We'll turn it into some hot dogs or Elmer's glue or something. So Andrea sprays Elliot with beer, Gage and the professor grab Munchie, and they run to the Jeep, making a getaway. Hey, hey, the Jeep is fixed, but you could have opened the door, you know? You could have just opened the door. You didn't have to drive right through it. Doors are made to be open, you know? It's kind of their one function. Elliot chases after the Jeep, and then Kathy, Andrea, and her dad chase after Elliot. And again, why is the dad still here? Just along for the ride, huh, buddy? This guy's probably the most dangerous character in this film. I guarantee you he only gets supervised visits nowadays. So they chase after each other for a while, and I'm already not a big fan of car chases in movies, but boring car chases are the actual worst thing in the world. This chase can literally be boiled down to someone turning left, the other person turning left, and then Munchie making a silly quip. Rinse, repeat until you start to feel the Munchie-sized tumor gnaw at your frontal lobe.
Who needs a license? I invented the automobile. Give it, give it.
So to get away from Elliot, Munchie makes the Jeep fly, and everyone is way too cool with it. You're really gonna fly in this fucking thing? I don't trust a Jeep on the interstate, let alone 30,000 feet in the air. Jeep. Number 1 in customer satisfaction, number 15 in fatal automobile accidents. Elliot runs into a donut shop and then gets arrested for driving under the influence because he smells like booze, because remember, he poured all that champagne all over his face and stuff. See, everything gets set up and then gets paid off. Everything in this movie. Except for the football tryouts. You know, I don't think we're actually going to see it. These are the most unrealistic cops I've ever seen. If these were real cops, they would have shot this guy by now. If these were real cops, that guy would be lying face down with 3 bullet holes in the back of his head. The next morning, Professor Cruikshank takes Munchie along with him to study the lost city of Arman Khan, because apparently Munchie was there the day the city was destroyed. You know how much death this thing has seen in its life? How could you possibly have a sense of humor after being on this earth for tens of thousands of years? Hell, I'm barely out of my 20s, and I'm already kind of ready for the sweet, calm release that is the eternal slumber. Elliot says goodbye to Munchie, and so does Kathy and Andrea, and her fucking dad, who is still here for some reason. Go home, dude. Take your daughter home. She's got school in the morning. Look at him wave like he's been a character in this movie. Then as the plane takes off, we see some commotion because the pilots haven't gotten on the plane yet, and then we see that Munchie is the one flying the jet. That's right, Munchie hijacked a commercial flight with a bunch of people screaming as he does barrel rolls. Man, those pre-9/11 days, there was nothing like it. Back then, if a pilot had to take a leak, he'd just get a random guy off the plane to take the wheel. Hey, buddy, would you watch this for me? Just keep her straight, and whatever you do, don't press that button. Hey, would you like a drink? I'll get you a drink. Also, in the credits, I saw a fascinating credit, additional Munchie lines written by Vin DiStefano. Did they hire a ghostwriter to come up with jokes for Munchie? Because if they did, let me tell you something. Whatever you guys paid for him, it was too much. I don't care if you just bought him lunch. I'd be asking for a refund. I'd be hitting him up 30 years later like, hey, you got that 20 I gave you? Job? What job? Munchie? Are you high? And that's it for Munchie, the worst movie I've seen about a small annoying character since Tammy. But before we get into ripping this movie apart, let's talk about some positives, if there are any. I mean, the characters are characters. A lot of these bad movies just throw cliches on characters instead of building real personalities. Hell, some of them don't even do that. Artie Johnson is great as Professor Cruikshank. Andrew Stevens as Elliot is a fun, goofy cartoon villain. And hell, even Gage has some kind of personality. You know, the new kid who feels like the world is all against him. I'm not saying it's the most original characters in the world, but at least it's something. And now, let's talk about some negatives. Munchie. No amount of Dom DeLuise could ever make me enjoy this character. The design is just so bad, and I feel like it isn't even a money issue. The biggest problem is his mannerisms. I mean, this thing on paper, just in a still image, doesn't really look all that bad. But then you add some motion and he starts tweaking out and you're like, whoa, put the kids to bed. But it would be a little too easy for me to just say, well, look at the ugly character, isn't it bad? So for a more inventive criticism, this movie doesn't feel like an actual movie. Or maybe I worded that, this movie feels like a movie. That's it, just a movie. There's no personality. It feels like someone saw a family comedy once and then just copied all the story beats into this. We've got the bullies, check. The crush, check. The single mom, check. It's just hitting all the notes without putting any kind of thought, feeling, or reason into it. And it's not like it's impossibly hard to make a cliche movie with some kind of heart. Hell, Disney has made a multi-billion-dollar empire by putting out the same shit over and over again, just with a different main character. Hey kids, did you like that movie about the lion overcoming the bad hand he'd been dealt and learning to love himself and growing to become confident? Well, how would you like it with a fish? Or a toy? Or a god? Or a monster? Or a bug? Or an Asian woman? And that's not even necessarily a dig at Disney, which even if it was a dig at Disney, I'm sure they'll be fine. It's more of an example that cliches and tropes aren't necessarily a bad thing as long as you put some heart behind it. Like when you watch The Lion King, you're not thinking, oh yep, I've seen this before. The little child who grows up to overcome the odds. That thought doesn't even cross your mind because the movie is filled with so much heart and soul and dedication and love. And yeah, that's right. Before you even get a chance to comment, I'm using one of the greatest movies ever made to justify why I don't like this piece of shit that was made purely to sell tapes at the Blockbuster. And I think that's about all I have to say about this movie. So if you stuck around to the end of this video, then thank you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, it means more than you'll ever know. Drop a like if you'd like. Subscribe for some more terrible Tubi reviews. And drop a comment for some recommendations if you've got them. As a matter of fact, I think this movie was recommended by somebody, and I didn't see who that was. So if somebody did comment Munchie, here it is. And if you don't mind, now that we're done talking about Munchie, I'm going to spend some much-needed time with my loved ones. Just kidding. Now I'm gonna start editing so this can be out on time.